What IP? What other IPs do you want to see in Fortnite, if any, that you can think of off the top of your head?
Get the Little Caesar from Little Caesar's Pizza. Get him in there.
Get Wendy's from Wendy's.
Get Wendy's. Oh yeah, exactly. Get Ronald McDonald in there.
I'm sure he's already in there. He has to be, right? Welcome, everybody, to Respawn Please, the weekly video game podcast where two friends come together to talk all things video games. I'm your host, Jesus, and with me, as always, is L. How you doing, you son of a gun?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on another episode, to do another episode of Respawn Please with you. We've got a couple things to talk about, but it's been a great week so far, and it's crazy to think that we're by the time this comes out, we'll probably be almost close to, a quarter of the way done with the year?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's crazy.
You think I'm keeping track of time?
Yeah,
I'm not keeping track of time.
The first quarter, well, not technically the first quarter, but the first quarter of the year will be, we're almost halfway done with it.
Yeah. I don't keep track of time. It's one of those things that I'm either going to wake up dead tomorrow and won't have to worry about it because I'm dead, or, I'll wake up and it's just another day. So who keeps track of time? It's pointless. We should focus on the fact that my hair looks like crap. And then I look like I had a penis head when I wore my hood up on my hoodie. For audio listeners, I had a hoodie on and the hood made it look like I was a penis. Anyways, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We have the BAFTA Awards. If anybody is excited about the BAFTA Awards for video games. The Fallout show is great. I've been watching it. I love it. And we'll talk more about it. And then something that really angered me earlier this week, and I texted Elle about it. And I was like, Elle laughed at me for this. I don't even know. I want to know why you laughed, but we'll save it for the conversation. Why you sent laughing emotes at me.
I know exactly why. We'll get to it, but I know.
But I put Dead Space is on hold. EA has put Dead Space on hold, which is not exciting for me because I love Dead Space. I wanted a Dead Space 2. I've been hoping for a Dead Space 2, but alas, no Dead Space 2. And then if we get to it, I have a topic question I would like to throw at you because I had this thought earlier today because coming to Fortnite is Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff. And it looks really cool. Like it actually the abilities that you get with the characters and stuff actually looks pretty cool. And so I wanted to ask you a question because it made me think about it. And we'll bring the question up towards the end of the podcast. But start thinking Fortnite and its future and the future of gaming as a whole. But let's start with the BAFTA Awards. So, Elle, do you keep up with the BAFTAs? Do you like for film or even for television or anything like that?
I've no film. Every now and then I would just check in to see who was nominated and, of course, who won. And then I just recently learned of the video games part of it. And but this is like my first year actually really paying attention to it just to see who was nominated. And but outside of that, not so much for the television part, but yeah. All
right. Nice. Yeah, I BAFTA stuff, Game Awards are always interesting to me. Like there's the Game Awards, there's the DICE Awards, there's a whole bunch of other awards like IGN and GameSpot and stuff. We have our own like Game of the Year stuff. And BAFTA is just another, thing of it. And you can check out our Game of the Year whenever we made that video back in January, I want to say.
Yeah, January.
We gotta promote it, spoiler and spoiler to the BAFTAs. Our Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3. So, I don't know why I hesitated with saying that.
You're revealing a secret.
Yeah. But BAFTA Awards, let's go from, you want to go through all the categories or you just want to hit some of the big notable ones?
I say, why don't we hit some of the big ones and then we can still mention the other ones that maybe people might not be familiar with. Yeah.
All right. So in total, Baldur's Gate 3 came out the big winner. It won, I believe, 4 awards. Let me count.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. It won 4 awards, including Best Game, Best Narrative, The E Players Award, EE Players Choice Award, which is voted on by the audience, and then it also won Best Music, which I was surprised by.
Nice.
I mean, the music for Baldur's Gate 3 is incredible. I would expect like a Final Fantasy to win that category,
something like that. Yeah,
but best game, best narrative makes sense, and then of course Players Choice Award, it makes sense. In most of the choice of Players Choice things, Baldur's Gate's been winning just because Baldur's Gate 3. The community around it's so huge and big, so it makes sense. Alan Wake is another big winner. Alan Wake 2 won 2 awards, including Artistic Achievement and Audio Achievement. Audio is a big part of Alan Wake because it's a horror game. It's a survival horror game. The audio design for Alan Wake is incredible. Dead Space, nice. Whatever.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I don't even know if Dead Space was nominated for this category. I'm pretty sure it was. It had to have been. It was not. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. No,
but Alan Wake won for Audio Achievement. So those were the 2 awards. And then the other big one was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It won Family Game and it won Multiplayer Game.
Of course.
Why would it win Best Multiplayer? That
is a good question.
When you have a category, the category was stacked. It was Baldur's Gate 3, Call of Duty, Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, and Party Animals. When I think of Super Mario Bros., I don't really think of multiplayer. I know there's the multiplayer aspect of it. Maybe it's just my ignorance. I don't play Super Mario Bros. At all. Like, I don't really play the side-scrolling games at all. I only play Mario if it's Mario Kart. So maybe it's my ignorance. But is Wonder like multiplayer focused?
I think it is because if you remember the one before this, it's interesting because this makes me want to ask you as well, because the way that we think of multiplayer might be different than what others think. The reason why I say that is, like, for example, Helldivers, you would consider multiplayer because you can play with other people. You can play by yourself, but it is multiplayer because you're playing with other people, like in different parts of the world or whatever. Where Super Mario, it feels kind of weird, like it's in between, because it technically is multiplayer because someone can just grab a controller and play along with you. I don't know if you can do that online, but you can do it locally, like couch co-op. And so it is multiplayer, but I think maybe because of that, because we've been used to that so long, and the way in the games that we play, maybe we don't think of it as in multiplayer in the way that we play, Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, maybe that is like, yeah, it's probably what that is. But yeah, I just didn't think of it like, especially when I look at like Call of Duty, Baldur's Gate, Diablo, like those just feel like more front-facing multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely,
like Call of Duty, especially, like that is like people play only. The majority of people play Call of Duty for multiplayer. They don't really play for the campaign. Like,
that's what they're known for.
Because Call of Duty campaigns are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they have some good campaigns.
They're very bumped. They're like the summer action flicks,
Exactly.
They're not going to give you anything great, but they'll give you some holy shit moments. So
yes, true.
But even like Forza Motorsport, granted, I would never play. I don't play Forza Motorsports at all, so I don't really know what the multiplayer community is like for that. And the Party Animals is nothing but just multiplayer. The whole game's just multiplayer. So there's not really any solo aspect to that. So yeah. I don't know. It's just interesting that Super Mario Bros. Won that. Family Game makes sense, of course. Like, I don't think that's even a debate for that. And then the other big game that also got 2 awards was Viewfinder, which got British Game, and then also got New Intellectual Property, which that's a weird category, but British Game and all that. So Viewfinder, I haven't played yet. I've seen a lot of people that love it, So yeah. But yeah. So overall, Baldur's Gate just continues to win, like, even though we're 4 months into, 2024 and we're still getting Baldur's Gate 3 still dominating like Game Awards and all that stuff and just winning it left and right, whether it's big front facing shows or individual sites and stuff like that. It's just Baldur's Gate is that juggernaut,
So crazy.
Now, one game that I'm surprised that didn't get more than 1 award, but it did get 1 award, and that's Technical Achievement, which is the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Man, it just feels like Tears of the Kingdom in a lot of ways. is getting the short end of the stick. I know I believe it won IGN's Game of the Year, Tears of the Kingdom. I might be wrong on that.
Okay.
I think GameSpot as well. Maybe I might be wrong there as well. But yeah, like Tears of the Kingdom, incredible game, a game that we both thought last year before Baldur's Gate 3 came out. We were like, it's going to be Game of the Year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That was our thought when Tears of the Kingdom came out, just because of how much it just took hold. And now, looking back, I mean, it makes sense. The conversation would have always been Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom. Yep. And I think it's whatever resonates with you the most. And I think Baldur's Gate 3 just, people it resonates with people more in many ways, I think. You can't really say it's because, it's just on the Switch or something like that. But
no, definitely. It's just, I think what we were so used to, like Zelda, Legend of Zelda, just kind of like taking a hold of that space, it's like Baldur's Gate 3. I know the other iterations of 1 and 2, where they were beloved, but it's like when you hear kind of like Zelda, you're just like, oh, okay, this is going to be Game of the Year. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. Could possibly just take the whole thing. And kind of Baldur's Gate 3 was that surprise that just came out of nowhere. Because as soon as it hit, it just hit like Elden Ring, like when that came out for those who loved Elden Ring so much. And it just took over. And it's like Zelda couldn't do anything about it. Link couldn't save Hyrule this time. And so they... they unfortunately just had the misfortune of being up against Baldur's Gate 3, which they're both great games for their own, players who like to play them. But Baldur's Gate 3 just has more of a chokehold on the world.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see like what the conversation with Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be and what the conversation with Zelda is going to be like in 5 years. Are we going to look back and be like, oh yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 didn't actually deserve it. It should have been Tears of the Kingdom. Or is it going to be, Baldur's Gate 3 deserves it. I think right now people are still high on Baldur's Gate 3. So
definitely.
Somehow, even despite, Larian coming out and being like, we're not going to work on any expansion stuff. We're just going to go move on to the next game. But yeah. So going into the other categories, one that I'm happy for because I love Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush won Best Animation, which it rightly deserves. That game is just beautiful from start to finish. Like, I just love the design. There's like a Saturday morning cartoon style to it in a lot of ways. I love the style of Hi-Fi Rush. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the game itself, but the style, the music and the style of it, I love Hi-Fi Rush for that. The best debut game went to Vinba, which is a really good game. I believe it's on Game Pass, so if anybody wants to try it out. It's you're making food with your family. I believe it's deeper than that, but that's the idea. You're making food with your family. Best evolving game went to Cyberpunk 2077. So Cyberpunk getting a renaissance, coming back. Phantom Liberty was a hit. People loved it, and like I think they're calling it the 2.0 update for Cyberpunk. Yeah. Where they just changed like a lot of systems and everything for the release of Phantom Liberty. And, I love Phantom Liberty. I thought it was a brilliant narrative focused game, expansion, I should say, to Cyberpunk. And it's really worth checking out, even if like Cyberpunk didn't hit for you when it first came out. You definitely should check it out now because it has changed a lot. There's still some like very things like the... if you're just going to run around the city, it can feel empty at times. Like, even though there's a lot happening around you. Yeah. It's, I don't know how to describe it. The best way I can describe it is in GTA 5, when you're walking around the city, people like kind of respond to you. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And like, I never really feel that way in Cyberpunk, even with the 2.0 update. It's a little bit better than what it was at launch, but there's still like a void there where I'm like, it's not as immersive as in a lot of ways as GTA when you're just walking around the city. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So yeah, but still worth playing from a narrative perspective. Cyberpunk is fantastic. Then Game Beyond Entertainment is Chia, which I've been wanting to play. I know it was exclusive on PlayStation for a while, I believe. I might be wrong on that. But it's on PlayStation. I believe it's on PC now too. Okay. So worth checking out. Game design went to Dave the Diver. This is a category that I just don't agree with. I don't agree with Dave the Diver game design wise. Maybe I'm just thinking of it wrong. Because it went up against Cocoon, Dredge, Tears of the Kingdom, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Viewfinder. From this list, from just a game design perspective, I would have gone with Cocoon, but
I could see that because Cocoon was beautiful visually.
but like, I don't know, like Dave the Diver just doesn't scream to me game design. Like maybe I'm missing something. I played Dave the Diver too. I have it. I just don't see what maybe I'm just not understanding what they are trying to focus on with this game design. Do they mean visuals? Do they mean like UI and the setup of the game and all that? I'm a little lost on what the game design category really is here. But yeah, this is the only one. This in the multiplayer one are the two ones that I'm confused by. So,
yeah.
And then performer in a leading role went to Nanji Jeter. And Naji was Miles Morales in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. If I mispronounced his name, I apologize. But he was Miles Morales in Spider-Man 2. And then performer in a supporting role went to Andrew Wincott, who was Raphael in Baldur's Gate 3. He's a little demon guy that you meet.
Oh, nice.
He's like, yo, bro, you got that little worm in your head. I'll take that out of you. But first, I'm going to make you suffer. Literally is what he says. He's like, I just want you to suffer. And then when you've suffered enough, you can come to me and I'll help you out. And it's like, dude, just go fuck yourself, Raphael. I hate you. But he's a great character. He's fun. So it's cool. Very different from what I was expecting. Like anytime I hear Baldur's Gate 3, I hear like the core characters, the actors for Astarion are Karlach or Shadowheart and stuff. I rarely hear like Raphael or any of the other secondary characters that are in the background, but I guess that makes sense. It's a supporting role. I would say like Astarion and Karlach and stuff are very, they're like lead characters basically. So makes sense.
Definitely. Nice.
Sadly, Sam Lake did not win in Alan Wake 2. Sam Lake was Alex Casey. Also, Sam Lake was Sam Lake. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but he was Max Payne in Max Payne.
Oh,
yeah. If you look at his character in Alan Wake 2 and you look at it in Max Payne, you're like, damn, just 1-to-1. They just took Max Payne and put him in Alan Wake 2, which, Sam Lake was the one who created Max Payne as well. And Alan Wake 2. He was the game director and writer, and he's also the actor in both of them.
Wow.
But yeah, so the BAFTA Awards, those were all the categories and stuff. Not really too many surprises for me. Just the game design and the multiplayer. That's all it was for me. What about you, El?
No, I think for the most part, everything sounds about right. Yeah, I would say the multiplayer one definitely is one that I think kind of can catch up. I can see why they would say that. Mm-hmm. But it compared to the other games on there, it goes back to when you talked about David the Diver for game design. It's like, what do they mean when they're saying like the best multiplayer, like the most fun you have with it? Is it like something about it? What is it? And then I think really, that one's the one that I'm just like, okay, is it like, what are the critiques? What are the whatever you're trying to meet there for that category,
Yeah. It's interesting, and we're dumb. I'm sure the people that thought about this are smart. Hopefully. But those are the BAFTA Awards. Moving on from the BAFTA, though, who maybe this show will get a BAFTA next year. Who knows? Whoa. We're going to be talking about the Fallout show. The Fallout show is fan-freaking-tastic. So we're just going to dive in here. The Fallout show has a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it might have changed because I made this yesterday. Yeah. I made it yesterday, so let me double check to see if the Fallout TV show still has a Rotten Tomato score of 91. Please just take me to Fallout. I just want you to take me to Fallout show, please. All right, it has a 94. Went up to a 94, so it's gone up actually.
Nice.
So there you go, 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. IGN's Matt Purslow gave it a 9 out of 10, saying, a bright and funny apocalypse filled with dark punchlines and bursts of ultra violence. Fallout stands up there with The Last of Us among the best game adaptations ever made. Brilliantly constructed, its 3 distinct leads travel through cleverly linked storylines that build to a fantastic finale. Along the way, there's a megaton of treats for long-term fans, thanks to immaculate production design and attention to detail, but never at the expense of making this an ideal starting point for the uninitiated. It's another special effort from Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, and easily earns a big thumbs up. So for those who don't know, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, I believe, were the lead writers and producers for Westworld.
Yeah,
so at least season 1, I believe. So yeah, they have another great show. Fallout, fantastic.
Nice.
I enjoy Fallout. I'm more of a Elder Scrolls person when it comes to the Bethesda properties and everything.
Gotcha.
But I do like Fallout, and Fallout, the show just captures it to a T. It captures its essence. From the vault tech stuff, one of the main characters has the Pip-Boy on her arm the entire time, pretty much. She uses it like you would in the game. Like she'll bring it up and like look at a map and everything. And it's like, such little details like that are fantastic. Yeah. One of the characters was at some point was scrolling through to listen to music and stuff too. Just little details like that. And then just like the food products and stuff that's littered in this world, you get like Nuka-Cola billboards and stuff like that, or Nuka-Cola little bottles and stuff throughout the world. You get like what they would eat from the game, the iguana on a stick. There's a part where the main one of the main leads, she goes to a town. And as she's entering the town, someone goes, "Do you want to buy iguana on a stick? Come on, buy iguana." And it's like, oh yeah, that's what would happen if you're walking into this world of Fallout. Like there are characters in the games that sell you iguana on a stick and stuff. And like, it's just so brilliant. And like the review for IGN said, the production's design just captures Fallout to a T. And I absolutely love it. I'm only on episode 5, so I haven't made it all the way through yet.
Okay.
I think there's only 8 episodes, I want to say. But like, I've loved my ride so far, and just the freaking Walter Goggins. We were talking about this before the stream. He steals the show. Like, he's fantastic as the Ghoul. He's menacing when he needs to be and soft when he doesn't need to be. And like, it's just so perfect. Like, he's like perfectly cast. Granted, he's amazing in everything. He's easily one of the best actors alive right now. But yeah, he just captures everything in the show so well. But all 3 leads do so well. I want to say, what are their names? Maximus and Lucy, I want to say, are the names of the other 2, because it's the Ghoul, Lucy, and Maximus, I believe.
Gotcha.
Let me just double check. Yeah, Lucy, Maximus, and Cooper Howard / the Ghoul. Before he became the Ghoul, he was Cooper Howard, an actor, and all this other stuff. But yeah. Everyone's fantastic in the show. Of course, they bring in the shady stuff that the Vault Tech was doing for people who are not familiar with the games. The Vaults aren't actually good. Spoiler, sorry. Not really a spoiler because it's pretty obvious pretty quickly. But there's some shady stuff happening. I won't reveal what's going on. But yeah, how about you? Are you excited to watch Fallout? Are you a fan of Fallout? I don't think we've ever actually really just sat down and talked about Fallout.
I think a couple years ago, I tried to play Fallout 3, and I didn't get into it as much just because I think it just wasn't like catching me. And then because of the show, I've like, maybe I should try it again just to kind of like go through it, just because it does seem like a fun game once it gets going. And so I know people always tell me that you either, some people like, a lot of people like Fallout 3, or a lot of people like New Vegas. And so it's just it just depends. But I think it is a game I want to try again. But the first time that I played it, it didn't really hit me as much, just because I was trying to get through it. And I was like, I don't really understand what's going on. And I just couldn't get my attention around it.
Yeah, I think, so you played Fallout 3, you said?
Yeah.
I think Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 are more open in its like story beats. New Vegas is more focused.
Yeah.
So if you want a more focused narrative, New Vegas is the way to go. It's still pretty open with like how you go about it, but there is a more focused storyline, in my opinion, for New Vegas. And I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards New Vegas more. Whereas Fallout Fallout is a Bethesda game where it's like you just go live out in the world and have fun and do whatever the hell you want to do. I also don't think the stories for Fallout 3 or 4 are even close to being as good as New Vegas. Granted, Liam Neeson is your dad in Fallout 3. So
exactly.
If you want, it was before Taken, so you don't get it was before Taken. But Liam Neeson is your dad in Fallout 3. I can't remember if there was any big names for Fallout 4 voice acting wise. I don't think there was for any, I don't think there was any for New Vegas, but New Vegas is probably my favorite of the three, but I don't know.
Gotcha.
I've not actually completed New Vegas, so I can't really tell you. I just know what happens. It's one of those things where I got bored and was like, I'm just going to read the wiki. I do that a lot with a lot of games. Like when the games feel overwhelming and I'm just like, I'm probably not going to finish this. I'll just read the wiki. But anyways, the Fallout show is great. I'm excited to finish it. It's already been renewed for a season 2, so that's good.
Wow, nice.
I've seen a lot of debate about this too. Should Fallout have been a week-to-week show rather than a, Netflix style dump everything at once and just let people watch it? I'm personally in the camp of, let me just watch it all now. I don't fucking want to wait week to week. But there are people that are gung-ho, like, man, if we would have waited week to week, they would have driven more conversation around Fallout. And now the conversation's going to die within the next 2 weeks because everybody's going to watch it. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I don't know.
I don't agree with that necessarily. I think more, if anything, it's kind of like a double-edged sword where I feel like that's what they say now. But if it was done the other way around, I feel like people would have complained, like, I can't believe we still have to do this old way of doing things where you have to wait week to week for a new episode, Yeah. And so if they didn't complain about this originally, then it would just be the opposite, I think more than anything, this kind of helps it because you can watch it all and then you watch the whole story to completion, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then you talk about it and then, now everybody knows season 2 is already going to come. So I see nothing wrong with it.
I don't necessarily think that, and I might be, this might make people mad. I don't necessarily think you need to have a conversation around things like this for long periods of time. Like, as much as I like the Last of Us TV show, like, I didn't really need a talk. I would have preferred it just coming all at once, so I didn't have to wait, with the exception of episode 2, because episode 2 is brilliant in Last of Us. Yeah. Is it episode 2? Yeah, it's episode 2.
It was, I think, yeah.
But like, I kind of wish I would have just waited and just watched all of Last of Us at once. Cause like, I don't know, maybe it's just cause like I don't have conversations about TV shows with people on a regular basis. Maybe that's what it is. That. But yeah. Like even now, like the only thing I can compare it Fallout show right now in terms of like week to week, like I'm watching X-Men 97 week to week. I just want to watch all of this right now, especially after episode 5 happened earlier this week on Wednesday. Like, goddamn, it ends on a fucking like intense moment. I'm just like, I need to see what happens. I hate this waiting. I don't like waiting. I'm impatient. So I'm glad that the Fallout show was all out at once. That's
hilarious.
Now the real question here, is the Fallout show better than the hit show Twisted Metal of last year?
Ooh.
The answer is I have no idea because I haven't finished Fallout, but yes, it is.
That's so funny. Yeah, I definitely agree.
How dare you? Twisted Metal was perfection. Perfection, I say.
Twisted Metal feels more campy. It feels more like, we know what we're doing here. Like you're everybody's in on the joke.
Yeah, I agree. Just wait. They introduced what's that person's name?
Calypso.
Calypso. Yeah, they introduced Calypso towards the end of the show. So there you go. You're going to get Calypso in season 2, probably. If there's a season 2, is there a season 2 of Twisted Metal? Probably.
I don't think they have it said it yet, but
I'm sure Anthony Mackie would have said it by now. Find Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie is known to spoil things. He did it in. Or is that what's his name?
No, that was Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo spoils everything. Never mind. I thought it was Anthony Mackie. I can't keep my Marvel people, in line. So, anyways, but yeah, I'm enjoying the Fallout show. We'll report back after Elle watches it because I know you were saying you saw a clip and you were like, I gotta stop and just watch the show. I had
to stop because it looked amazing, and I don't want to say the clip, but it didn't seem like anything spoiled. We all know what happens, but I'll say that the clip was I already forgot his name. What's the Vorg's name? The guy?
The who?
No, what was his name? The Vorg or not the Vorg? The
Ghoul?
The Ghoul. Sorry, I said the Vorg. The Ghoul. When he was the actor and
it's Cooper.
his daughter just puts her thumb up. She's like, "Is it bigger than my?" You said if it's bigger than my thumb, and I was like, "I'm stopping right now. I don't want to see anymore because it just seemed like a very dope scene." And then I was just like, "Okay, I can't watch anymore."
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go watch the whole thing.
Oh yeah, that happens in episode 1. So that's episode 1. So yeah, it's not too much spoiler, but yeah, definitely go watch it. It's on Amazon. And yeah, I think there is like a revolution with like game adaptations right now where we're finally getting good ones. You know, back in the 90s,
I know, yeah, right.
we had some awful ones. The Mario movie, Mortal Kombat. Well, Mortal Kombat's 1 is good.
Like a cult classic.
Yeah.
You know?
Mortal Kombat 2, not so much. That is
not
awful.
So good. Street Fighter.
Street Fighter was bad
right
with Claude. What? Jean-Claude Van Damme. There we go. I couldn't say his name. Wow. There was Blood Rain. If you remember Blood Rain, it came out in like 2002 or 2003.
Yeah,
the Resident Evil movies
God.
aren't. Other than the first Resident Evil movie, the other ones aren't good. At least I don't think they're good. Our old roommate and friend Ron, he loved all of the
he loved all of them. Yeah.
He would make us watch those fucking movies all the time, dude.
I didn't like them. They were not my movies.
He'd always be like, "Hey, come watch this. Be like, dude,
this is amazing."
No, stop making us watch this shit. But yeah, other than the first one, and the first one's only good because of the hallway scene, right? The lasers.
With the lasers. Yeah,
that's the only good. That's the only good scene of that whole movie. Anyways, but it's exciting to see like the adaptations actually being good, from the Fallout show to Last of Us. I would argue that Twisted Metal is a good adaptation. As somebody who's never played the games, I enjoyed the show. Yeah. They didn't make me want to go play the game because I just vehicle slaughter, whatever. I'm just like, whatever. Old game's old. I don't need to play them. But like Sonic is killing it, you know.
Oh like, yeah, Sonic.
We're getting a Sonic 3.
And they showed TV show.
It's like what CinemaCon happened, and they showed footage for Sonic 3 with Shadow and Sonic fighting. They haven't said who's voicing Shadow yet, and he didn't talk in the trailer or in the footage they showed, but like apparently it looked awesome. So like I'm excited because I love Shadow. Shadow's my favorite hedgehog. But like Sonic is killing it. You got the Knuckles TV show coming out, or is it already out? I don't know.
I don't know.
Speaking of, I'm going on a side tangent here. Sorry, I talk a lot. During Stand and Deliver, NXT Stand and Deliver was the pay-per-view before WrestleMania on Saturday. Okay. They like had They had a person in a Knuckle costume sitting right behind the commentators. And I was watching and I was like, what the fuck is Knuckles doing there? Why is there a person dressed up as Knuckles? It took me a moment to realize, they're promoting the Knuckles TV show. Cause like after I had to rush my thought, and then one of the announcers were like, and my buddy Knuckles back here. I was like, oh, okay. It makes sense. Yeah. But like, I just had that moment. It was like, because the commentators were talking, it was just the commentators, and then it was Knuckles in the background. I was like, what the fuck is Knuckles doing? Who dressed up as Knuckles and came to Stand and Deliver? Yeah. What?
Oh, interesting. That's funny.
I was just like, it just took me a moment. I'm sure a lot of people who don't know anything about Sonic and Knuckles were just like, who's this person in a costume?
What is this?
This is so weird.
Guy doing back there? That's hilarious.
But it was really funny. But yeah, I'm so glad with these adaptations. You know, we've talked about it for like what we would like to see in adaptations. You know, there's going to probably be a Zelda adaptation eventually.
Yeah, I could see that.
It'll probably be animated and stuff like Mario. Even though the Mario movie itself, like, you know, narratively wasn't good, it was still a very fun movie, and it still did really well. Like, you know, it's made so much freaking money. So we're gonna get more Mario movies. You know, so we're just, I think we're in that turning point where we're actually gonna get really good adaptations consistently. I would even argue the Mortal Kombat
movie,
the most recent Mortal Kombat movie that came out during the pandemic was pretty fun, like especially compared to the old one. At least in my opinion.
Definitely.
Like the main character, whatever. But the fight scenes themselves were really rad. I don't know if you watched it or not, but.
No, I missed out on that one. But I saw a couple scenes of it like on TikTok and stuff. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what more adaptations we're going to get. With the exception of Halo. Halo, still not good. but
I heard season 2 was really good. I heard
that's what I heard. I'm not. I'm not.
I watched a couple episodes of season. Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of season 1, and I liked it. And I was like, "Oh, this is good." But of course, I don't know too much of the Halo lore, like in the universe, and so I don't know how faithful it is to Halo.
Yeah. I know season 2 touches on Halo Reach stuff, and Reach is my favorite like story of all of Halo, because it's just Covenant and humans. When you start adding the Flood and all the other crap, I'm just like, okay, I don't like Halo anymore. I've started to realize that as I've been playing through the Halo games on my personal stream, where I'm like, fuck the Flood. I don't give a shit about this stuff. But yeah, so I'll eventually check out Halo season 2, but Halo season 1 I did not like at all. I was from just like the production value to the acting to the writing. I was just like, ugh, it did not sit well with me. I sat through all of it. I forced myself, and I just did not enjoy it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. You know what makes me really sad though?
Oh boy, what's that?
Dead Space being on hold. Ooh. We probably won't get any good remakes or adaptations. So earlier this week, Dead Space 2 information went around. It started with a report. Electronic Arts is reportedly no longer working on a remake of Dead Space 2, but EA has addressed the reports that was made. And they said, we don't normally comment on rumors, but there's no validity to the story. As early as last spring, added that EA decided to put the franchise on hold as early as last spring due to Dead Space remake not hitting the publisher's sales expectations. So, it is on hold, so it could come back. EA was saying, no, we never started work on it. So, how can you put something on hold that we've never actually started working on?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to think that Dead Space 1, the reason that they're not going to, their Dead Space 2 is on hold right now and the franchise is on hold is because Dead Space remake didn't hit sales expectations. And that's a shame because Dead Space remake is incredible, in my opinion.
It is.
I think, I might just be a Dead Space fanboy. I am. It's okay. But I'm incredibly disappointed. And Elle, I want to know why you laughed at me when I texted you. I texted you. I said, Dead Space is on hold. It's not happening. I was so sad.
Reason why
I wanted support. I needed emotional support.
The reason why I sent those laughing emojis because I think I read the text really quickly and I didn't see a 2 and I saw a 3. And I was like, you want Dead Space 3 remake? Really? I thought you hated Dead Space. And I laughed. And so I was like, huh? And then it wasn't until I reread it and I was like, oh, he meant 2, not 3.
Because I asked you, why are you laughing? This is important to me. You would never hear me talk about Dead Space 3. Fuck that game. The game sucks. But yeah, this is incredibly disappointing though to hear. Elle, I know you enjoyed Dead Space. Were you hoping? Were you expecting a Dead Space 2?
Yeah, a part of me kind of feels like with this trend of you'll see, remakes, like your Resident Evil 4s, this Dead Space game and stuff like that. And it's like with as time passes for these older games, it's like, oh, you can reintroduce a game that was beloved when it first released, when it first came out. And then automatically, to me, at least I would have thought that they would have gone to Dead Space 2 and been like, well, so many people loved 1, but then also 2 was a big hit. Why not just at least go to 2? Because I'm pretty sure the EA was aware that 3, was not beloved by the fans as much. Probably a couple people, but 1 and 2 were more so the ones that everybody always talks about. And so, every now and then, like I said, you'll see a trend of just older games getting remakes or getting remasters or stuff like that. And so it was natural because I was like, well, 1 is great. Why stop at 1 when you can also do 2 and just go to 2,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Dead Space 2 is my favorite of the trilogy. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Dead Space 2 becomes more actiony rather than horror. And I'm like, it's fine. That's what I prefer it that way. But I do love Dead Space. I love the love and care they put into the remake. I would love to see that carried over to Dead Space 2, but looks like we're not going to see it for a while, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, that also means that we're thankfully never going to get a Dead Space 3. We don't need it. We can actually put that in a coffin and jettison it into space, and hopefully necromorphs will find it. And
we got a remake.
They got our story wrong.
We got a remake of 1, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So that, instead of getting 3,
it's gonna be my nightmare. They're gonna be like, you know what? Let's just go straight to 3. Let's skip 2 remake. We're gonna make a Dead Space 3 remake.
That'd be really crazy.
I would be so. You know how angry I would be for that.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
You're like, we're gonna make a Dead Space 3 remake instead of 2 because we know everybody loved Dead Space 3.
Oh my gosh, no,
just no. Dead Space 3 is not as bad as they make it out to be. I just don't like it compared to the others.
I get it. It kind of, if I remember correctly, didn't Dead Space 3 also it played more into the action kind of like...
It was action heavy, and it wanted you to do like co-op crap. And
exactly, yeah. It was okay.
Yeah. And then like it just felt like a lot of the stuff they established in 1 and 2 kind of got thrown out the window for 3, and they were just trying to like throw a curveball and stuff.
Throw a curveball.
Like the idea is cool, like the moon thing being like the necromorph home thing. I can't remember exactly what was going on, but like this moon was supposed to be like necromorph central type deal. Yeah. It was whatever.
I get that. Makes sense.
But with all of that said, it got me thinking because of the news with Avatar coming to Fortnite, Avatar: The Last Airbender, not Avatar: The Blue People. It got me thinking. Fortnite.
Fortnite.
When do you think? And I phrase this like this: when do you think established IPs say "fuck it"? Our IP will only appear in Fortnite from now on, instead of making games. By established IPs, I mean like Star Wars, any Marvel product, Dune, things like that, where they're just like, you know what? It'll be more beneficial for us instead of like funneling money to the studios and stuff to make games. Let's just give the IP over to Epic and Fortnite and just be like, hey, our characters will pull into your thing. We'll do like some events with you so we can promote our films or TVs or whatever. And we'll just do it through Fortnite. We already see that with like Star Wars promoted stuff in Fortnite. We see musicians do that a lot too, where they'll give concerts. Like Eminem did a concert not too long ago in Fortnite. So like, when do you think, do you think that could happen? Like, and this is not me saying that this is going to happen at all. Like, I want to make this clear. It's a what if. Do you think this could happen type of thing? Like, because I feel like at some point, these studios, these IP holders and stuff will just go, you know what? Everybody's playing Fortnite. People pay to just play as these characters in this game. Why don't we just put Dead Space? Why don't we just put Isaac in Fortnite? Why don't we just put Necromorph in Fortnite, and people can just play as those characters or whatever? Or people can, because Fortnite even has like their own creative suite where people can create game types and stuff, and people are creating off the wall shit in Fortnite in their creative stuff. Like they're creating entire like video games in Fortnite. It's just wild. So like, when do you think that happens? Do you think that could happen?
So I think that for a thing like Dead Space, I don't know if it would ever happen necessarily, because as Dead Space to me kind of feels like it's niche. And
I'm not saying like Dead Space in general. I'm saying more like the more big established IPs of biggest Star Wars, of Disney, because like there are already elements of that. Like you can play already in there. You can play as like Darth Vader, I believe, and stuff in Fortnite, right?
Yeah, Darth Vader.
And Darth Vader. They have the Marvel Thanos thing going on for a while in Fortnite a couple years ago, back during in-game time. So,
yeah, I kind of feel.
Do you think that could happen though? Like where Disney just goes, you know what? No more Star Wars games, no more Marvel games. We're just putting all our stuff in Fortnite, and we will do events in Fortnite.
That's interesting. Oh, I'm trying to think. I think for the example you use, I don't think, when does that, I feel like for something like as big as Star Wars, I don't know if they ever stop making anything else and just say, hey, everything's going to be done in Fortnite, unless Fortnite just becomes so big. But as I say that, Fortnite, it's still one of the top played games all over the world.
Fortnite makes boos of money every year.
Every single year. But I think, and as I say this, I don't think this will ever happen, but I feel like with an IP kind of like Star Wars or something, the only time that Disney just goes, hey, no more, is when they feel that they have no more stories to tell. That's the only thing. And then they're kind of like, yeah, I don't think we have to do anything else TV wise, movie wise. I think we're done with those.
Oh, I'm not saying they're going to stop making movies or anything. I'm saying in the video game space. In the video game space. Sorry, I should have phrased it. Yeah, because we're a video game podcast, so just video game focus. I know we were talking about TV show, but
no, in the video game space, I mean, I feel like the sales would have to be really bad, and they're just like, we're not going to spend any more money in these games that are just not selling well. If Star Wars
Outlaws fails, like if Star Wars Outlaws just comes out, it's a critical failure. Players are just like, nope. Do you think Disney goes, well, you know what, Star Wars, you're just going to go in Fortnite?
No, I don't think it happens
Lego
that
Star
quick.
Wars and Star Wars Fortnite. That's it.
I don't think it happens that quick. I think it has to happen like maybe like 3 to 5 times, and they're just like, all right, listen, we've gave you buckets of money. All of these failed. That's it. Fortnite is successful. We're never going to make any other games. It has to happen like, I think, a lot. But I think it can happen. It just a one and done doesn't seem like a very fair thing to do. I don't see them doing that, because I feel like they would Disney and just EA and all them would just be like, let's try again one more time, versus just like, or it'd have to be so bad to the point that it was embarrassing on social media. It was embarrassing. You're the headlines of all these video game blogs. It's so embarrassing and bad. Hopefully Star Wars Outlaws is not bad. But it had to be really, really, really bad that they just go, yeah, we're going to go hiding a little bit. And they'll be like, everything will just be in Fortnite now. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think it has to be really bad and stuff. But it was just an thought I had, whereas like, man, with how successful Fortnite is, like I could see established IPs from Marvel to Star Wars to, Shrek. We're having Avatar now, like even freaking trying to think of something else. I had something else in mind, and my brain just went blank. I mean, we have the Simpsons in there, Family Guy in there, and stuff like that.
Family Guy, yeah.
Like I could see like these companies and stuff just going, you know what? We don't need to have individual games. We have our shows, we have our movies. We'll just put it in Fortnite. Let Fortnite be where people get our content in video game form. I could see that happening. I don't think it's going to happen within like the next year or anything like that. But I definitely could see that within like 15 years, 20 years from now, these studios are like, you know what? Fuck it. Fortnite's still going strong. If it's still going strong, why are we spending money on these projects that the returns aren't what we need?
Exactly. Because when we can just license this out and then get more in return.
Yeah. So
that makes sense. I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just a thought I had, and I'm throwing that onto maybe I'm going to be the catalyst. Someone somehow some major person from Disney or somebody's going to hear this and go like, oh, you know what? That's a good idea.
Not a bad idea. Then everyone's going to clip this moment in the podcast and go, you're the reason for this.
You're the reason this happened, you son of a bitch. But yeah, I'm sorry for not clarifying. It was just for video games. I wasn't talking about like other media. Like Disney is always going to make, that's always going to make movies and TV shows and stuff. They're not going to just stop.
Of course.
Like they'll if they stop, it's going to be for like 5 years or something, and then we'll be like, let's do a reboot of Star Wars. We're going to bring back Luke Skywalker, new Luke Skywalker, and everybody's going to hate us for it.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, just seeing the stuff with Dead Space made me think that, and then seeing the stuff with Avatar, I'm like, yeah, makes sense, because Avatar has never had a good. Like the Avatar, the Last Airbender has never had a good game. So like, what's the incentive for making Avatar games when?
Very true.
When like you go watch the Avatar footage for Fortnite, it looks awesome. Like I'm not even a Fortnite player. I'm not an Avatar person, but I watched it. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah. It's not going to make me play Fortnite, but I'm sure for the people that love Fortnite and the people that love Avatar, this is going to be like a perfect storm for them, where they're like, oh yeah, I get to play my favorite character from Avatar and stuff. I think that's what's appealing about Fortnite and why people keep going back. because you can find your favorite characters from these IPs like The Simpsons, like Family Guys, like Star Wars, Marvel, all of that. Because they're in there, like Naruto's in there, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, Naruto's in there.
So like,
even
Goku's in there,
right?
Yeah, DC's in there.
Batman
Goku's in there.
Yeah.
It's like you get all these characters that can fight each other. Like Superman's in there, can fight Captain America. Like,
oh yeah,
it's weird to see Superman use a gun, but whatever.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, it's just so interesting to me with the whole Fortnite thing, because I know you and I sleep on Fortnite because we just don't play Fortnite.
Yeah,
but there's so much going on in the Fortnite world that it's like it's easy to forget that, for you and I to forget that, oh yeah, this is something that just keeps going and going and going, and they keep making these deals and keep bringing these IPs in. They added Lego Fortnite, where you can it's basically just a Minecraft. They added a rock band game type into Fortnite as well, where you can get tracks and, you know, get with your buddies and do the rock band stuff, you know, or the Guitar Hero stuff or whatever. And then they added racing. They added a freaking kart racer into Fortnite as well. It's like, they're just going to keep adding stuff. I'm sure they're going to eventually add like Fortnite RPG, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, they can try Fortnite Survival again, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
That was the original vision of Fortnite.
The original. Man, I still remember that when it was that. Yeah. Oof.
They're going to bring that back. They canned it for a while. They'll bring that back. And then you can just, you know, finally, people are going to recognize the greatness of what Fortnite originally was.
Exactly.
God, it's hard to, it's funny to imagine that game failed so hard.
It felt very hard.
And they pivoted, made a battle royale, and then somehow that just took off and has become a juggernaut. Because that was like, what, 2018, 2017, something like that?
That.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And technically, I believe Fortnite released in early access too, and has never gotten out of early access. Am I wrong on that?
Really?
I might be wrong. Yeah. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Like whether they call it early access when the game's out, so people play it.
Very true. That's so crazy.
It's just wild to think that, like, where it started and where it's at now is night and day.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, but you know, I mean, we've seen games like, you know, No Man's Sky do that, Cyberpunk with the original launch, and just, you know, how crazy that was. Well,
even with those two games, the core idea of those games are still the same. Like the core idea with No Man's Sky, you're still exploring the galaxy, still resource gathering. Cyberpunk is still Cyberpunk. Fortnite like changed its entire identity from what it was originally to going into the battle royale stuff. So
okay, yeah.
Like the identity of Fortnite was one thing and pivoted within a year to this battle royale, and then just blew up from there. Like, I think that comparing that to No Man's Sky, which No Man's Sky had to consistently add updates, I think they're two totally different stories that aren't that are somewhat parallel of each other, but like, sorry.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
No, you're good. That makes sense. Yeah. It's because I think it's crazy, because I think what I'm trying to say is that it's the turnaround for them, because that original idea of Fortnite was failing very badly. Yeah. Just like the other games mentioned, and it's like everybody was able to turn it around. They didn't pivot, but they were able to like flip it around to where now they're beloved, and people are like, these games are amazing. Like, you know, but it's crazy how they can just flip that and turn it within a year. And just next thing you know, now it's the juggernaut, and it basically is one of the most played games all over the world.
It's one of the most played games. It makes a lot of money. Doesn't make doesn't make enough for Epic to keep its employees, but it makes enough, you know. Anyways, I had to get that jab in there.
Oh God,
capitalism, baby, you know, capitalism.
Yeah.
Sorry for taking sorry for splitting this into a stance.
Oh my God.
I did that so well too, man.
You did it. Nice to have it caught me off guard. I was like, whoa.
I did it so fucking well. I'm gonna give myself flowers for that one. All right. Anyways, let's wind this down. Do you have any other thoughts? Like, I guess my final question for you: what other IPs do you want to see in Fortnite, if any, that you can think of off the top of your head?
Let's see. Any
Fall Guys is gonna be in Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. They're adding the beans, which is funny to me because because they're both owned by Epic.
Yeah, exactly.
Fall Guys and Fortnite.
I mean,
they're separate teams, obviously, but like, It was like, it took this long. You would think that would happen immediately. Just put the beans in there. Go put those Fallout beans. What the hell?
Fallout beans.
Go put those Fall Guys beans in there. Damn it. Get them beans.
Oh my God. The only IPs that are coming, which I think it's already in there. I was going to say Spawn. Is Spawn already in there?
I have no idea. Let's find out.
I feel like he's already in there. I don't know if I might have saw him or not. Spawn is one.
Yep.
Is Shrek in there? Get Shrek in there. I don't see why Shrek isn't already in there. Get Donkey in there.
Get Donkey, yeah. What I would want to see, How to Train Your Dragon. Give me Toothless. Give me Toothless in Fortnite, baby.
Lightning McQueen in there. Get Cars in there.
I think they already have some. No, Shrek's already in there.
Oh, he's in there?
No, he's not. If Shrek, I'm looking at if Shrek got added, but no, someone I think is Woody. I think they already, because I think they added Buzz Lightyear at least.
Oh, did they?
I think they added Buzz Lightyear around the time the Buzz movie came out.
Oh, okay.
I think I might be wrong on that, but
is the Predator in there? Get the Predator in there.
I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. Get the Alien in there. Get the Predator in there.
Get Chucky in there. Get some horror people in there.
Get He Who Shall Not Be Named, Voldemort in there.
Get him in there.
Get my goldfish in there that I had when I was 2 years old.
Get Air Bud in there. Get all of the classics in there.
Yeah. I mean, Bugs Bunny is in there, right? So yeah, Bugs Bunny, I think, is already in Fortnite. Shaq's in Fortnite, I believe.
What?
Is it Shaq or maybe it's LeBron? I believe so.
I think it's LeBron. I think it's him.
Maybe so. One of them is maybe. I don't know. What was Shaq's superhero? Wasn't Shaq no superhero movie?
Wasn't it Steel? Was it?
I don't remember.
Steel. His name was but I remember that movie.
Shaq superhero, and then he was also like a genie, right, and something else.
Oh yeah, Kazam.
Yeah, get Kazam.
Yeah, get Kazam in there. Get
was Kazam even a good movie? Like
it was okay. It wasn't. It's a 90s kid Disney like film.
Yeah, the Shaq's movie was called Steel.
Steel, that's what it is. Yeah,
just Steel.
He was like some variation of not really Superman, but
he kind of looks like a cyborg-esque.
Yeah,
character.
Exactly. Get the Teen Titans in there if they're not already in there. They might be in there.
I'm reading the wiki. The following day, Colonel David talks to actor Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this movie just as himself about Steel.
Really?
Yeah, he talks to actor Arnold Schwarzenegger about Steel and the events on what happened the day before and offers him to help before realizing it's actually Irons who he is talking to.
Wow.
What is this movie? What is this fucking... I gotta go watch this movie. Came out in 1997.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie at all.
Get him in there. You know what? Get Kazam in there. Get them all in there. Get all the greats. Get the aliens from Mars Attacks or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Get them in there.
Yeah,
get them in. Get the Little Caesar from Little Caesar's Pizza. Get him in there.
Get Wendy's from Wendy's.
Get Wendy's. Oh yeah, exactly. Get Ronald McDonald in there.
I'm sure he's already in there. He has to be, right?
He has to be. Get the Burger King.
Get the Best Buy logo there.
Look, just put all the brands in there. That's how you make all the money.
Yeah,
just get them all licensed in there.
Just put the billboards throughout the city. I mean, I'm sure at some point Fortnite will probably go that round. If they
definitely.
When does Fortnite transform into a VR space? I guess that's the next question.
To be honest, I don't think it's too far off. I give it another couple of years. I don't think it's far off. They're probably already thinking on that now.
Yeah. Do you think Epic and Apple can put their beef aside
and
create a Fortnite exclusive to the Apple VR, whatever it's called? I can't remember what Apple VR is called. So
I was about to say the Quest, but that's Apple.
That's
I forgot the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think they put their beef aside and go, you know what? We can make billions, no, trillions taking Fortnite and pairing it with our VR headset.
Exclusive to them only.
Yeah.
That's how you get them to take a look, and they'll be like, exclusive only?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe like 2-3 years, they'll be like, eventually everybody else, Meta and all them, will be able to join in. But for the first 3 years, it's exclusive. To be honest, I think that's on the table, regardless of whatever beef they might have.
Yeah.
If the money is there, I think the money will talk, and they'll be like, you know what? Let's put our beef aside.
Yeah,
We're all friends here.
I know we spent years in court trying to, get Fortnite free of the Apple Store and people can purchase coins or whatever the fuck they're V-Bucks. That's what it's called V-Bucks, not coins. Because that was the whole thing. Like that was during the pandemic, right? Like they were going to court over the fact that they couldn't sell their V-Bucks away outside of the store or whatever. Yeah, man, that was so long ago. Also, by the way, we missed our this is where we're now transitioning to another conversation here. We missed our anniversary. We're 2 years old.
Oh no! Wow, it's still a baby.
We're still a baby.
Eventually, it'll be going to college.
We were 2 years old back in March. We forgot to celebrate it.
Oh well, happy 2 years of Respawn, please. That's crazy to think.
Yep, it's crazy to think. So wind us down, baby.
Everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to the Respawn Please podcast. You can always catch the video version and the audio version of the podcast. They come out every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. And the video version is available here on our YouTube at Respawn Please Podcast. Just type that in. We'll pop up. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified whenever we drop future videos or go live. Also, audio version is available everywhere you get podcasts. Just look up Respawn Please Podcast. And also be sure to follow us on social media at Respawn Please Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm reading the plot for Steel right now. This feels like a fever dream. Like this whole plot just like what?
Yeah, it's
I need to watch this movie because I think it's a fever dream. Anyways, bye everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Go watch Steel and then let me know what you think. Bye.